Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. It's a work, career, vocation reading time, a timeless work, career, vocation reading for my Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. I am your reader. Fellow Earth sign Virgo that I am, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, MAL. They are my initials. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Production since 1998, 24 years in business at the time of this recording. If I'm doing the math right, I'm probably not. Author of Words of Grace from a professional winch, a professional winch. Yeah, that's now a professional witch, now available on Kindle right at this second, and there's a link in the description box. You can get the preview for free and read the dedication to my mom because it's really good and it kind of chokes me up. Yeah. As well as, oh wait, what am I forgetting? Oh, how could I possibly forget? I'm a creator on Patreon. I didn't forget. I was just building up the drama, you caps. I love patreon.com/drawing the circle, letting my artist out full force. I was a minister. The artist took the back seat. I'm not anymore. And so the artist is driving on Patreon. I got humans, heroes, angels, witches, immortals, gods, goddesses there, my different levels of subscription. And it's a field day. And I love putting out exclusive content for them. No one else gets to see a lot of it. So, that being said, let's talk business. This is what's called a 3 levels of power reading, looking at your life purpose through the archetypal lenses of the 3 levels of power, in this case, work, career, and vocation. There's a section in the description box for videos related to the subject of work, career, vocation, one of which is by Carolyn Myss. That's spelled M-Y-S-S. She's a PhD. These are her archetype cards, talking about the 3 levels of powers, 3 archetypal lenses through which you can look at different aspects of life. In this case, as I said, your life purpose. Now, there is purpose to this, right? To bring it all into alignment for you, certainly. The fulfillment of your life purpose is essential to the evolution of this planet. Don't you dare count yourself out. You're important to all of this. Each one of us are. So think of it this way. The more you're fulfilling your purpose, the more the universe realigns the timelines so that this world heals. Yeah, especially for Capricorn's 10th house, highest potential. I got new definitions for the 12 houses of the zodiac because of Carolyn Myss's work in Sacred Contracts. Cannot recommend her work, particularly that book enough. You might want to start with Anatomy of the Spirit, though, but whatever, you do you. So it's a 12-card spread, 3 cards from 4 different decks. There are chakras involved. Let's see what comes out of my mouth. Other than that, it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs. I know for myself, my Virgo Sun tends to go more towards work. My Pisces Moon, more towards my vocation. My spiritual calling would be I'm a Pisces Moon. And my Rising and my Venus do tend to find their leverage in the career. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath, if you will. And I'll get you the clarity, guidance, and grace to help my fellow Earth signs. And I love Capricorns. I do. Y'all at least are stable, usually, depending on what your moon signs might be, and help you fulfill your life purpose so that this planet and the people upon it and all of life can prosper, fulfilling all of our roles in the universe's plan, because the universe always has a plan, believe it or not, no matter how anything appears to be. Ready? Please take a nice deep breath. Let's see if we can have fun with this, okay? I know what's going on in the world. I watch the news at the time of this recording. There's such cray-cray going on. There always has been, but now it's amplified. So let's ground this fucker, shall we? Let's try and have some fun. One more. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Okay, that felt good. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, the angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through work, career, vocation, as well as their higher selves and the higher selves of all involved. 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. I need 3 Carolyn Myss archetype cards for the 8th chakra dynamic, hovering over the heads of their work, their career, and their vocation. We're going to lay them down, work, career, vocation, but then we're going to read them, vocation down to work. The the house down boots, please. What's going on in their work? Dominant, 8th chakra archetype affecting every chakra underneath it. It's electromagnetic attraction and repulsion, what we attract, what we repel. In their work, there's a literal level of power, lower 3 chakra dominant, the physical world, their survival intuition, their 2nd level of power, their career, the personal level of power, the mental emotional world, the feminine energy, the world behind their eyes, heart, third eye, crown dynamic. So we're talking spiritual power, mental power, willpower, emotional power, what they yearn for, what they burn for, what their hunger, their thirst, their creative intuition. Let's get this card in the hand, shall we, for the caps. Whew, that one took a while. It's probably going to be a hot one. Or at least it'll be the right one. And for their vocation, their spiritual calling, their visionary intuition, 3rd level of power, the symbolic level of power, their spiritual mystical stuff, 8th chakra, dominant, what's going on up there. Boom. These are in the title. Let's see how brave you are. This has been happening a lot, where people are getting survival family archetypes in their vocation, which is very interesting. And you've got 2 survival family archetypes, the Saboteur and one of the child archetypes. We'll get to those, and a masculine family archetype. So if you read it this way, you're the Saboteur / empowerer. All archetypes are neutral. We'll get to that, right? Just there's not room for it on the card. So the Saboteur empowerer, the eternal child fool. But fool does not mean idiot, by no means. Well, what is it? The opposite of wise is not stupid. That's the opposite of smart. The opposite of wise is foolish, meaning you know better. That's the difference. There's a big difference, but that's not really about that. But it would make sense for what's going on planet Earth. So let's dive in. Everybody has the 4 survival archetypes. There are 9 different families. It's the first family you learn about. The trunk of the archetypal tree upon which all the other archetypes depend in Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss. The child archetype everybody has because everybody was a child. I don't care. Capricorns, you're said to be born old and grow young. That's why later on in life I don't mind marrying a Capricorn if it plays out that way, because at least they'll be fun and they'll have a lot of wisdom. Certainly, the victim victor, which is not on the table here, the Saboteur empowerer is, and this is about life-changing decisions, whether you empower or disempower yourself for others. All archetypes are neutral, so as horrible as it sounds is as brilliant as it is, and as brilliant as it is as horrible as it sounds. It's a percentage scale from lead to gold. The shadow attribute, what you don't want to deal with, don't want to look at, or if you are, you don't want anybody to know. And this is in your life calling. How many people are making life decisions about, do they really follow their spirit or not, right? The shadow attribute induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. It's totally Wile E. Coyote, you know, super genius. The Saboteur archetype will use numbers and figures and logic to say, well, you can't follow your path. Look at those bells. Tote that barge, lift that bell. It doesn't matter how much you suffer. Capricorns, you're known for martyrdom, but that's a Saturn planet thing. You're ruled by Saturn. It is the martyr, right? Among other things. Not that every archetype can't martyr, though there is a martyr archetype and it's not on the table. The light attribute, what you're shooting for, I love this, highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring in your life. So what if, oh, here's a Matt Kahn thing, his healing mantra deck, or the last 3 cards down. If you had everything to gain and nothing to lose, how would you act and what would you choose? Let's leave that there on that note, and let's talk about the eternal child, essentially Peter Pan, the shadow attribute, inability to grow up and be responsible. Never met a Capricorn that way, personally, at least Capricorn Sun sign. Extreme dependency on others for physical security. Now, the child archetype is the only one in this deck that has sub-patterns. So everybody has the child archetype, not everybody necessarily has the eternal child archetype. So you might really resonate in terms of your creativity The light attribute, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. Have I mentioned I'm actually going to be 54 years old in September 2022, 53 at the moment? Thorpe, yeah, I know, I don't look it. Thanks, eternal child. Ability to see things with fresh eyes. And with the third eye, dominant second level of power. We'll see what hits the table in the next 3 cards down. But first, let's address the Fool archetype, masculine family archetype. So I want you to think court jester. This archetype is alive and well in the world. It's all the political comics that are like speaking the truth and not getting thrown in jail, hopefully forevermore. Ugh, I know, shit's weird on the planet. The shadow attribute, using humor to wound rather than liberate. Well, I have no idea to which you all are referring, except that's how I was raised. Denial of your emotional truth. So, something in the work field here you gotta face up to how you really feel. The light attribute, though, catch this, fearlessly revealing emotion, help people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. So we've got Lenny Bruce. How far you want to go back? Right? George Carlin, right? Just watched a great 2-part documentary on HBO Max. I grew up with George Carlin. My mom was really into it. Toledo Window Box was my first George Carlin cassette with the big pen. You got it. Generation X. So let's play this on the gold side, because this is, what you're shooting for here. The empower eternal child fool. But remember, it's the one that can speak truth to the king without getting his head cut off in the royal court. Yeah. Hitting himself with a bladder, hopefully not his own or anybody else's. Location. Our next 3 cards down, we'll look at the next 4 chakras under the 8th chakra. If you think of the 8th chakra like a satellite, and you only have 1 8th chakra, but these 3 archetypes are in play, they beam down the codes, the signals that shift the chakras in terms of what you attract and what you repel, so that you do what you came here to do. And, you think the conscious mind has much to do with that? The conscious mind is the one that gets to choose what it wants to do between lead and gold. Daughters of the moon, heart, third eye crown, goddess energy, feminine energy, you get the gig. Please take a nice deep breath. This is going to be good. No wonder that this felt so good. Please, still point. This feels like carbonation in my energy field. I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Capricorn, powers of the earth. Please, 3 cards in clarity. We'll call them out one at a time real quick, and then we'll put them together with the archetypes. Heart, third eye crown, dynamic work, career, vocation for the Capricorn collective. Sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading in their life purpose, work, career, vocation read. The Fool on the Fool in the 8th. What's going on, heart, third eye crown there, since it's seems very heart chakra and throat chakra, right? Fearlessly expressing how they feel with the Spider Woman Wheel of Fortune, divine timing card. Yeah, it's time. It's time. Inside you know it's time. What you're going to do about it, though. My goddesses, the eternal child in their career. This is heart, third eye crown, dominant level of power, the world behind their eyes. What they hunger, what they thirst for, their creative intuition, big time. What's going on there with that eternal child on the inner? Garbage truck maybe in the neighborhood. I may have to pause this. I'm okay with it because I get to futz with the video editor in fun ways. 5 of Pentacles, earthquake. You might be a little shook on the inside. That's not necessarily a bad thing because it's inside. It's not about being ghosted on the outside, or what you usually see going around the tube of you about the 5 of Pentacles always being about that. No, this is your wisdom is shook on the inside. You had the stability of the 4. You're going through the 5. You'll get to the 6. But can you, here's the thing, can you adapt the ability to see things with fresh eyes, right? Earthquakes take seconds and can be lethal depending on the intensity, right? The Richter scale, right? 5 seconds of a high Richter scale thing is bad, right? But it changes it. So when it's on the inside, pentacles are about the wisdom you got through experience in the world. The stuff that can't be stolen from you, but it's changing big time. Now, they're just dropped into my head. Extreme dependency on others for physical security. That's most likely what's shifting inside of you if you're alchemizing it from lead to gold, if you're doing the work. You know, if we could get from the soul's perspective, we've done nothing wrong, that in order to be who we are destined to be in this life couldn't happen any other way. Even our fuck-ups are part of a divine plan so that we learn who crosses the T and dots the I every single time. Well, Virgos. I'm kidding, please. All right, my goddesses. We're having fun with this, though. There's some shookethness going on there in the career. We'll see, maybe there's something triggering that from the outside in the next 3 cards down. But let's look at that Saboteur in the 8th. Their spiritual calling. What's going on? Heart, third eye crown. Yeah. The Aquarius card. A court card. Excerpt. The Crone of Blades. Aquarius, which would be the Queen of Swords in traditional tarot, flying above the fray, up into the atmosphere. The eagle flies highest and sees furthest. Technically, it's the albatross, but that's not good poetry. So that you can really see this from a higher place. Very third eye. Right? So even though this is very third chakra about the choices and decisions that you make to undermine or not, highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life, certainly speaks of seeing this in a larger picture. I love Aquarians. They're fun for the most part. Freaks of the zodiac, outside the box because they fly at this 11th house Uranus. Uranian vibe. Sorry, eternal child, what do you want? Don't sue me. To see the larger picture, right? It's hands across America, humanitarianism. We are one, we are the world, we are the children, maybe the eternal children. And from that comes humanitarianism, and from that comes egalitarianism, literally egalitarian. The eagle woman, Excerpt, but she's flying with scissors in her hands, so apparently for goddesses, running and flying with scissors are probably okay, being that they're eternal beings, immortal beings, but to snip away, right? There are some beliefs in play here that gotta shift, and that's okay. That's the gig. Shall we? Let's look at the outside of this, so to speak, lower 3 chakra dynamic, the masculine energy. You from the outside looking in at yourself. You from the inside looking out at a person, place, or thing. But lower 3 chakra dominant, we'll start here. Again, work over. The root chakra is about groups, tribes, circles of friends, your nationality, your political affiliation. Some of these things you can change. Some of them you can't. Your genetic heritage is in your DNA. That's a tribe too. The human race is a tribe. Second chakra, one-on-one relationship, like an umbilical cord to another person or thing. Money, sex, power, addictions, passion, all that. Solar plexus chakra, your relationship to yourself. Your honor code, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't. Your boundaries, which Sagittarians are at least known for boundaries because you need boundaries to achieve your 10th house highest potential, as well as your self-esteem and your survival intuition. Here we go. Earth signs. Still point. As I call upon my gods of earth, the sign of Capricorn, powers of the north, lower 3 chakras. For the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in their work. They got the Fool with the Spider Woman, the Life Weaver, the Wheel of Fortune on the inner. It's time. But what's going on lower 3 chakras here that they need to be aware of? And we've got the 10 of Swords. We will address that, but certainly something has come to a head mentally where you get it's time. It might very well be, I'm done with this. I have every piece of the puzzle. Yeah, we don't see backstabbed here in the Mythic Tarot by Juliet Sherman Burke, but we do see Athena coming in and saying to the Furies, knock it off, he's had enough. In other words, it's the end of the cycle of air. This Orestes, I forget, some of the Greek tragedies I'm not as up on. I like the Bacchae. I like, the ones about Dionysus. Any Deus Ex Machina is good for me. I'll have a Deus Ex Machina, please. A double Big Machina. The sun is rising in the horizon, on the horizon, I should say. So this is definitely, it's a timing thing. And you may be done with what's going on and may be ready to fearlessly express your emotion and just laugh at the hypocrisy of it. The eternal child, please, in their career, that heart third eye crown with the earthquake, does feel like something could be triggering that on the outer. What's going on, lower 3 chakras? Interesting. You've got a double whammy. You've got the Aquarian card. Same card, essentially. Here, is this Atlanta? I forget all of my myths. There was a lot of them in this deck sometimes, it feels. Fixed water, the Aquarius card, literally pouring out a pitcher of water there while holding a sword. Interestingly, you got this on the inner for your vocation and this on the outer. Just that juxtaposition, I think, is worth considering. This might very well be you from the outside looking in, keeping calm, staying distant, well, emotionally distant, right? Seeing things from the satellite, seeing things from that larger perspective. Hence the ability for the eternal child to see with fresh eyes, right? To poke through the clouds, to fly above the fray and see this. Because there might be a real shakeup of wisdom. You might be learning something so new, so clear, so radical that you need to pull back and see it. This could be a whole new beginning for your career in the sense of how you approach it, right? With that internal yet eternal wisdom, with that eternal child. Eternal children are wise, right? I got it. I don't lie. I'm not allowed to lie. Not when I'm wearing these cords, at least, which is why I wear them a lot. So then, my gods, let's finish up this this line here with the Saboteur Empowerer. In their vocation with Ixchel, the other half of that double whammy, the Eagle Woman, the Aquarius card, flying above it all, very third eye. I don't think that they're gone fishing, right? Gone fishing, but please don't leave a message. I'm not going to return it. But it does feel like there's a pulling, not just back, but up here to adjust the attitude to gain the higher altitude, just like an airplane. What's going on, lower 3 chakras for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign? Lower 3 chakras, vocation, the sun. You are the sun. Thank you, Belinda Carlisle. Great song. Look, the Saboteur, regardless of where you are in the alchemy, if you see this from a higher place, Apollo is shining on you. God of healing, God of prophecy, father of the muses. So about inspiration, this is very 8th chakra. However you define, or perhaps redefine, your life calling at this point, it is an opportunity for you to empower yourself in a way that's really going to help the mind, right? To get a larger, perhaps more holographic POV, that's point of view, not pigs or vampires, Katya, but with that clarity, with that healing. Now, if this is also you as the sun, as Apollo radiating, this speaks very highly and very well of your career, particularly if you are shining your light at full capacity, but perhaps being silent about it in your career, sort of watching, right? Getting up, going in, going deeper in and higher up, and fearlessly revealing emotions here, because this feels like something's done, right? Wheel of Fortune, you might have manifested the highest destiny you can there, and it's time to move on. Or at least mentally, something has come to an end here, which makes sense from seeing it from a higher place. Almost done. Last 3 cards down. The Macon Healing Mantra Deck Sans Bookie Book. These readings are long enough, right? But they're always in the readings that I do because they're incredibly helpful for me. My clients are over the moon about them. I don't know, maybe they're over the sun as well. So we're going to, again, get 1 for each. Each one will help you align the individual thing, work, career, and vocation. So if you're finding your leverage, like, I don't know, it depends on kind of the leverage. No one of these is drawing me directly to it. Usually I can feel that early on. So let's see what the healing mantra is. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call to the Ascended Masters of Life Purpose through work, career, and vocation, please. 3 perfect healing mantras. Work, career, vocation, kitty cats. Work, career, vocation for the Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. They got the Fool in work. With it's a timing thing. It's coming together on the inside. Their destiny, they're at an inflection point between fate or destiny. Will they suffer their fate or manifest their destiny? Because that 10 of Swords speaks of something is done, or at least the full mental circle has been the realization, the putting it together, where the goddess of wisdom herself is saying to the Furies, knock it off. This is done. This is toast. This kid needs a new beginning. And certainly as a result of that, fearlessly revealing their emotions in the right way. What's their perfect healing mantra for that? Invoking self-realization. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Just keep breathing. It's a great mantra. We'll talk about it once we get them all on the table. AMs of WCV, please. 1 card for their career. The Capricorn Collective, Eternal Child in the 8th. 5 of Pentacles, Earthquake on the inner, but Queen of Swords, Aquarius on the outer, Fixed Air. What's their perfect healing mantra that maybe they can fix their mind, their air on? Discovering happiness. I allow myself to be content exactly as I am, and I was just doing this one earlier today. We'll put these together. I think I get where your leverage is here. Challenging, but I think we'll get there. All right, Ascended Masters, last card down. In their vocation, which feels really bright. I mean, like, I don't know how much they have to do here except really do that third eye, see it from the larger place, which seems to be somewhat throughout here. What's their perfect healing mantra? Saboteur in the 8th. Ixchel, Crone of Blades, Aquarius, Heart, third eye, Crown, which is very much third eye, maybe even Crown, with Apollo, the Sun, lower 3 chakras in their life, calling their vocation, demystifying the darkness. My shadow shows me where my love needs to be sent. So just quick, right? In your work, you're invoking self-realization. Now take realization out of the realization, and in terms of, I want a sandwich, I'm going to realize that sandwich by bringing it into the physical, literal world, right? So self-realization to make your true self, your eternal self, your immortal self, real to you. Right? In your right, each breath confirming how awake, how clear, how in the moment. Your breath, the breath, is the living presence of well-being. This is from Matt Gone. The more mindfully we breathe, the more alive we feel. It's just, if you think your breath is just something you need to survive, that's your experience. But if you get it's actually chi and prana, you're awake, right? You're connecting with There's only one breath, folks. I know it's a little gross, but you do your best. Wear your mask, I guess. In your career, you're discovering happiness by allowing yourself to be where you are and letting things shake out. Child willing to see it with clear eyes. In your vocation, demystifying the darkness, I'm going to say. This could very easily be, simple need not imply easy, of course, in Miracles, you really seeing how you sabotage yourself. We all do. We're taught those patterns. It's written into the script before we ever incarnate, right? Certain ancestral patterns. What are you going to do at age 2? Be like, I'm sorry, I think this is a toxic decision from myself. I really don't want... No. You just do what you're told, or, consequence. So seeing this from a higher place, I really feel like any shadow work you do with Apollo is going to be, well, the sun energy on the outside, lower 3 chakras. Whenever it's a major arcana chakra, inner or outer, it's all of them together, right? So this is all 3 lower 3 chakras lit. So solar plexus, there's your dominant. Demystifying the darkness. So to heal your vocation, my shadow shows me where my love needs to be sent. I'm not going to hide in the light. I am going to bring my shadows into light rather than light to my shadows, because when we bring our light to our shadows, we tend to use the mind to rationalize it and figure out why, and it doesn't really heal anything. But when we really allow ourselves to show us where our love needs to be sent, love is the healer. And in your career, how you heal your career is allowing yourself to be content exactly as you are, which allows you that stillness, that fixed air on the outer as the Queen of Swords, that then the ascent is much easier, so to speak. Getting up into that crown and 8th chakra and seeing this from a larger place. And even if you do see how you have sabotaged yourself left, right, and center, it couldn't happen any other way. Every hero on the journey has their sabotorial patterns. All of us do. You heal yours, we all heal. That's why your life purpose is important. And how you heal your work, of course, is just through breath. Each breath confirming how awake you already are as you come to some kind of mental, at least, ending there. I like it. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do a blessing summation, a blessingmation. I don't know. I'll find a word how to put all that together someday. And then we'll chat a little bit at the end, because I have learned to release the zodiacal collectives I'm reading for, particularly if they're not one of my placements, by letting the goofy free. Cope. Shall we? Last time, maybe. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheons, convey the blessing. Use me. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Capricorn collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need in their fulfillment of their life purpose, that in their vocation they highlight their fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring in their life, which might have something to do with that 5 of Pentacles there. And so that they can really go deeper in and further up and see it from the satellites, that Aquarian Ixchel energy. Yes, carrying the scissors and seeing that there are some shadows there. There are some things that they might believe are true that are not. And that can be from anywhere, right? No need to blame it. You needed to believe it. You may not do anymore, because certainly the light is shining. Apollo, the sun, shining down on them with that healing. That light lightens anything else that's going on here, particularly as they are demystifying the darkness, because their shadow is showing them where their love needs to be sent. And in their career, may they embrace their determination to remain young and body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. Keep young and beautiful. It's your duty to be beautiful. Annie Lennox. White courtesy telephone. And so things are shooketh within as a result for something going on in their career, their passion, their thirst, but I don't get that that's a bad thing, because if they can find that stillness, if they can find that Aquarian on the outer, that I'm going to pull back, I'm going to see this from a higher place. I have the choice to see it from the ego or the soul, and the personality chooses little by little by little, then certainly they will be able to discover happiness, allowing themselves to be content exactly as they are, because content is a nice foundation to move into happiness, just being where we are. And so that in their work, they may fearlessly reveal emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy, because it's time. It's the manifestation of their internal destiny here. There is an interconnection, certainly, with the people that they are dealing with in work, but there is an aspect of fate versus destiny, lead versus gold, shadow versus light. So for them to watch their sense of humor, to make sure it's not all that wounding, particularly if it's pointed at themselves, with Capricorns, can be very self-depreciating. And certainly that might be about a conversation that's been going on here, a discussion that finally concludes, or some cycle of air, something they've been thinking about, and now rising above it all in those higher chakras. And all they have to do right now is keep breathing, invoking self-realization, because their breath confirms how awake they already are. And may they be blessed with all of that they need, every step, every breath, every movement, that they are given the guidance, grace, love, wisdom, and power to fulfill not just their life purpose, but their highest potential, climbing up that mountain, running up that road, maybe walking up that road, walking up that hill with no problems, because they're flying above it. And may they be blessed that as they fulfill their life purpose, gorgeous creatures that they are, creative cardinal earth, that they heal, grow, learn, and do the best that they can be, and be the best that they can be, shining their light at full capacity, healing themselves in this world for the well-being of all. And with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So motivate. And so it is. There you go. Oh, I love you, Caps. Oh, did you love it? Then hit the thumbs up. Help the other sea goats find it. And if you want more of me here on YouTube, subscribe. Why? Because this is my gig, and I'm loving it big time. And in case you're wondering what I'm wearing, I forgot to say it at the beginning, the theme for this series, just so that I keep my creativity rolling, is dress for the job that you want. Witch of the Woods. Witch of the Woods. It's one of the few pieces of Ren Fair wear that I own. Cope. And certainly if you want to go deeper, if you want the deeper stuff, if you want the exclusive stuff, you want the stuff that I share with just the people who want to go deeper, come Patreon. On Patreon, my Capricorns, come check it out. Just go click the link and look at the different benefits that each of the subscription levels have, because I'm getting really creative with it, and I'll add more tiers, and there will be newer benefits. Haven't even been in this a year yet, and I love it. Best career move I ever made. Anyway, that being said, if you would like to book me for a private reading, there is a link in the description box to a YouTube video called Booking a Reading with Mal. Explains everything for you, just like Clarissa, until we come up with another thing to say. That's what I'm saying, because it makes me laugh on the inside. Letting the goofy out. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed, my beloved sea goats. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed in your work, career, vocation. I love you, you hot things. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.